In a self-defense situation, you want to take it to them. If they're compromising your space, you switch to short weapons, but then you expand back to long weapons to regain your ground. And what I mean by that is, when I'm actually trying to find my range, this is actually quite long, but I can actually, if my sensor line's compromised, in other words, the person gets past the first barrier, I can start to switch to elbows and then recover back to a long range. So we now have this idea where we're barring, trapping, going back to long range and finding here, opening, grabbing and striking, and then trapping and elbowing, and putting it all together in quite a coherent way, in which case you're learning, one, to get in, strike, hit, elbow. Can you block that for me? Go one, and then putting it all together where you're slowly wearing the guy down, and where you're wearing him down, what you're doing is you're slowly getting him to cross his arms. That's quite effective because you're taking the fight to the person that's attacking you. So typically in Wing Chun, when we use the elbows, they're close range, but another way of thinking about using elbows in Wing Chun is that if your arms are stuck in the inside, very similar to sort of a clinch type idea, and we've spoken about this in some of our other videos. If someone's applying pressure, before we spoke about retracting your hands and getting your hands out with a sensor line punch, but if it's applying pressure, you can simply absorb the pressure and hit around. So you've now got these ideas where you're elbowing from your hand being crushed in this situation. Notice how I'm grabbing the hands. It's an important point because as I'm getting my arms crushed, I'm riding that pressure and elbowing and trapping the other arm and elbowing again, which takes us to our next point. Ha, 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 ha. If I punch someone, I elbow. So if I'm striking, I elbow, and from this position, if I'm striking, I'm elbowing, and I'm elbowing again, because what I'm doing is I'm closing the range and I'm giving myself a better way of actually applying the elbow. So to strike with the elbow, the best thing to do is to actually set it up with a punch and change the arm and the rotation.